Hello everyone. So in preparation for our next project, we are going to be doing some color mixing. We are going to be learning about color mixing more in depth for this project. So we have this worksheet that we are going to be doing some practice with. So in order to get yourself set up, obviously you need this paper. I have a cup of water and a paintbrush. This is actually a disposable paper mixing palette basically. So I'm gonna use that to mix my colors on, and then I can toss it when I'm done. Off the camera, I do have paint, of course, along with a paper towel to wash off in between colors. So what we're going to do basically, we know the basics of mixing colors. For example, we know that yellow and red together make orange, but we want to put together some more complex colors so that we can have an understanding of how to make any color that we need. So this one is going to be practice. Depending on how much of each color you add into your own mixtures, your colors might look a little bit different than mine, maybe a little bit lighter or darker, and that's honestly completely okay. When you're doing this, we're not going to be needing a lot of paint, so really you just need like a small button of paint almost. All right, so you're gonna mix the colors according to the instructions that's underneath each box, and then you're going to brush a small amount of paint into the box in order to show what you have mixed. So that is the best way for me to see what it is that you have created. So the first one is adding purple to white. So you can see I have my little buttons of purple and white paint here. A very important rule with color mixing is to always add the darker color into the lighter color. So in this case, you would add purple into white because it's much easier to control the value of your color that way. If you were to add white into purple, you'd be adding and adding and adding until you get the color that you wanted. But this way, you start off lighter. So I'm only dipping in my paintbrush once, you can see, and you wanna mix it all the way through. And we get a really beautiful lavender color. And if you would like to make it a little bit darker, you can. For me, I think that's an appropriate color. So I'm gonna, oh, it's a little swirlier than I thought, but that's okay. Very important to mix your colors all the way through. So there I have my sample of my purple and my white. So I'm gonna rinse off my brush in between because you don't want your mixed colors to be, you know, messed up by something else. Then I am drying and cleaning it off with my paper towel in between too. All right, so let's look at the next one. Add black to orange. So I'm gonna put a little dot of black on here. I'm gonna put a little bit of orange on here. Okay, maybe a little more. Okay, there we go. All right, so you can probably imagine with this one, black is a very dark color and we're adding it to a lighter color. So you want to be very, I know this doesn't look like much, but you want to be very careful with the amount of black that you add to another color. Obviously, the goal is to make it darker. It turns into an almost brownish color with orange, but if you add too much black, it's just going to look black. So definitely be careful and make sure that you are controlling the amount of paint that you put in there. All right, awesome. So again, make sure you clean off in between. Excellent. All right, so our next one is to add green to yellow. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my green and my yellow. All right, so again, you're adding darker to the lighter. So we're gonna get a little bit of the green, just a brush tip, and we're going to mix it into yellow. And this is a really great way to get kind of a lime green. A good tip if you want to brighten a color is to add it to some yellow. Yellow will do a really great job of brightening a color. Oh, I still had some of the orange in there. Let's clean that off again. As you can see, it is very important to clean your colors off in between. All right, that's much better. All right, awesome. So let's move on to the second row. We're gonna add purple to red. So I already have some purple up here, so I'm just gonna put a little button of red down here. Great. Okay, now these colors are both like fairly dark, but purple is definitely still the darker one. So we're gonna add purple to red. Now this is one I've always noticed. It kind of doesn't change a whole lot, but this is a good example of if you add a little and it's not where you want it to be, you can go back and grab a little bit more. Okay, so we end up with a little bit more of like a burgundy or maroon color. It might not look like it changed much, but it definitely is a darker red. I think especially once you brush it onto your paper. Okay, awesome. So next we're going to add orange to yellow. All right, so I have dirtied both my yellow and my orange already because I use them to mix colors. So we're going to put some new little buttons down right here. All right, again, clean it off. Then I'm going to grab some orange into the yellow, and you're going to see this is really good for making this nice light orange color. If you add even a little bit, I call it the Kraft mac and cheese orange. I just think that's what it looks like. And if you need a gold color ever, not a metallic one obviously, but just a very, very, very small amount of orange to yellow does a really great job. All right, guys, so the last one is actually mixing 3 colors together, green and blue, into white. All right, so brush is cleaned off. I'm gonna set that down there. Again, I already dirtied my white, so I'm going to add another little button of white right there. And then I haven't used blue yet, so I'm gonna add a little bit right there. I can use this purple, just make sure I don't have any red in it. Okay, so let's add a little bit of, oh, what was I talking about? I don't need the purple for this, that's just silly. All right, so I'm taking a little bit of the green and I'm mixing it in here, and you'll see that that gives you that nice kind of mint green color. All right, and then I'm gonna grab some blue. I'm gonna mix that in here. And this is gonna give you kind of a teal or an aqua color, which I do think is a really, really nice color and something that you might find yourself using at some point. All right, so once we have that, awesome. All right, everyone. So I hope that you enjoy your practice with color mixing. Please don't feel like when we're doing this project that you have to limit yourself to these colors, but use this as a guide to help you. What happens when you add a color to white? What happens when you add black to a color? How to brighten a color with yellow? How to get a slightly darker mixture of a color with something like purple or blue? And how to make sure that you can do some more complex colors that uses more than 2 in a mixture. So enjoy, and I can't wait to see how your practice turned out.